look through the process of OTAs and all the things you've been through right now. Could you talk about just the progress in your game right now as far as what you're seeing?
Yeah, I think when you're new to a position and when you're getting into your first year, you're always going to see development and growth, and that's something that every day we have a list of things that we're trying to get better at. We're trying to improve, whether it's on an individual standpoint, whether it's on a team standpoint, an attitude standpoint, and every single day we're just coming out here trying to compete with ourselves, compete with each other, and do what we can to get a little bit better. And so I would hope that there's been some progress, and hopefully we see some more throughout our team's journey through this season.
What have you seen in yourself, though, as far as just your development from OTAs now out here in training camp?
Yeah, I think it's been cool to take in everything from all our older guys. Terry McLaurin's one guy specifically, of just his mentality and routine is so special, and it's so cool to be able to just watch and observe him on every single rep, every single thing he does to take care of his body, every single thing he does to approach the game the right way. And I think for me, there's been a lot of micro improvements because of that, but I think that ability to watch and learn from a guy who does it at such a high level like him has been able to be the result of why I've been able to have a lot of small improvements over the past couple months.
Could you talk a little bit about your process as far as what are you seeing in the development of your game from when you first got here up until right now?
Yeah, I think it's you come in here, you don't know the plays. They send you your iPad, so you kind of get a limited view of what you're looking at. And then you finally get here, you start to figure it out and understand what we're trying to do. And after you figure out, okay, I'm lined up, I got my play. Now I'm trying to figure out what the defense is doing. How does my route adjust against this look? What kind of coverage do I see here? What do I expect to be able to do? So it's really the post-snap stuff now. The OTAs let me kind of learn the plays and understand what we're doing. So now it's just making adjustments off that post-snap and seeing what the defense is doing and how I'm going to adjust and win on my route. So.
Donna Hopkins Pro Football Plus out here for Commanders, day number 2 of training camp. And it's so early to take away a whole bunch of things from both the defense and the offensive side of the ball. But with me here is David Harrison, does a great job of covering the Commanders. And David, let's jump right in here. On the offensive side of the ball, everybody wants to know about Jayden Daniels. What is he looking like? And, he's doing what he's supposed to do out here at this early stages of the training camp. But overall, what are you seeing from him and this offense overall, his connections with the tight ends, the running backs, the wide receivers?
Yeah. I think right now the biggest word I can use to describe, if it's like one word, is control. Jayden Daniels is in control. Whether he's out there with the first team, whether he's with the second team, whether it's a dump off to a running back, a shot down the field, like even the incompletions, right? Like yesterday, he went 6 for 6 from what I charted. There was a pass that he threw that was after what I would call a practice sack. So I don't count that on the pass chart, so it did fall incomplete. So depending on who you're listening to, there might be different charting out there. But yesterday, 6 for 6 in my charting. Today, very first drive out there with the second team offense, 1 for 4, which statistically, and when you hear that, you probably flinch. You go, oh man, there's a rookie day for you. But when you think about, so you obviously have the one completion. One of the interceptions was a rollout to the right? He creates space, creates time for his offense, tries to find Chris Rodriguez down the right sideline. Very well placed ball. Chris just didn't win the rep. Like that's just at the end of the day, it happens from time to time. That's a positive incompletion. When you talk about bad incompletions, good incompletions, that's about as good an incompletion as you can get. Another one of those incompletions, he's trying to find Zach Ertz on an out-breaking dig route on the left side of the formation. Zach gets held up in his break, so he gets out of his break late. The ball's already coming, falls incomplete. But you want a quarterback that trusts that his guy is going to be there, puts the ball in play when the read is there. The read was there, the ball falls incomplete, but it was never in danger. And then the final incompletion, another deep pass down the left sideline. I can't remember who the receiver was on that one off the top of my head, but the bottom line is it was either his guy getting the ball or nobody getting the ball. So while you don't want to go 1 for 4, if you have to have 3 incompletions, those are the 3 types of incompletions that you can live with, and that's exactly what you want to see out of Jayden. And then again, the time management drill where they start at their own 40, minute 25, couple of timeouts, need a touchdown. They go down the field. They're smart with their timeouts. They're smart with their time management. Score a touchdown with 9 seconds left to play. What else do you want?
Yeah, and like you said, even the 1 for 4 would make the people cringe, like you said. But the thing about it is, it's early in training camp, and they're testing things. Dan Quinn talked about in his press conference is that red zone, and they're working a lot on the red zone, what that looks like as far as he's talking about squeezing the ball into places possibly don't make that throw. And so it's a process of Jayden and everybody else right now of that red zone. And we know that the red zone has been a nightmare for this Commanders team for a while now, but I see a lot of movement in the offense all over the place. I mean, they don't have pads on, anything like that, but for sure, nobody has the advantage this year at this stage. Last year was the defense that seems like that they were ahead of everybody, and now with the looking at the offensive defense, you can see growth on both. Nobody is leading the pack or anything like that because of the talent right now, but just the movement in the offense of what I'm seeing right now is a lot more than what I seen last year, and they're going to need that as far as with the offensive line, with helping them out. But what have you seen there with all the movement in the red zone and looking at that area?
Yeah, I think Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, needs a lot of credit, and he should get a tip of the cap from a lot of people out here watching just these first 2 days, because a lot of red zone heavy work, like you said, and a lot of creativity. And I think that's basically from a strategic standpoint, right? Terry McLaurin talked about it yesterday after practice, like being in the red zone is so difficult for an offense because you do have such a truncated area of space to work with. The defense basically has that 12th defender on the back defensive line or the back line of the field that you can't go past, obviously. So as an offensive coordinator, how do you negate that advantage that the defense has? I think you do use creativity, right? When we go back to that time management drill and Jayden Daniels finding Jeremy McNichols, the running back, out of the backfield, he's wide open on a swing pass for a touchdown. How do you get a running back wide open on a swing pass? You create confusion, and exactly what happened. We love the dude. He's been doing a lot of good stuff, but Jordan McGee, rookie linebacker, he got lost in what was happening. He ends up standing in the middle of the field, and Jeremy McNichols, the guy that he's supposed to be covering, is over there for a touchdown. And if that's a game situation, he just cost his team the game. And the reason it happens is because Cliff Kingsbury's scheme, the offensive execution, is causing chaos, causing confusion, and that helps you create space where there's not space naturally because of where you are on the field.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see is, like you said, the chaos on offense, something we didn't see of the mixing and what Kingsbury is trying to do. And you brought me to my next point as far as the running back position and how they're utilizing these guys. Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson and that mix, and even Chris Rodriguez, of what he's trying to do with them, using them a lot in the red zone as far as coming out of the backfield. And just, we know that they're going to be in that passing, so that's going to have to be spot on for all the running backs, but you're seeing a different twist in there as far as what Austin brings to the table, and even Brian Robinson, of what you're seeing in the early stages of his development right now.
Yeah, they're all different backs. It's really interesting, like the contrast between all of them. I think Brian Robinson is probably your best combination of everything, right? He can run between the tackles, he can hit the edge, he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's looked really solid these 2 days and throughout the offseason program. Austin Eckler just super shifty and a little bit of a smaller dude. Like, I think there's going to be opportunities there for this Commanders offense to get him between the tackles, not because he's a thumper, but because he's so small. If you get a good look, you kind of crowd the middle of that offensive line, and you allow him to kind of get small and get through those gaps, he's going to be able to get to the second level of a defense where they even see where he's going. And then Chris Rodriguez, more of a power back, but I think he's got underrated catching ability as well, which is why I know he's frustrated, not that he didn't come down that ball that Jayden threw to him today. And then Jeremy McNichols, who again is a little bit more of a hybrid type of running back. I think I probably put him a little bit more powerful than most people probably think he is, but obviously showed a little bit of receiving ability today with Jayden Daniels. And yeah, there is a case to be made to keep all four backs. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, obviously B-Rob and Eckler are going to be your main two, and then Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNichols, spot situations, mostly special teams, things like that. But with the new kickoff rules and everything else, I think there's a case to be made to keep both or all four of those running backs. We'll have to see how they go through training camp, because it's going to be really interesting for this team to have to decide between the third and the fourth back.
Well, one key thing is you mentioned special teams, and that's going to be a shift in what we saw before because of the new rules and everything as far as that. And they're trying a whole bunch of different people at that kickoff punt return right now. And most of the time, those running back position is this: if somebody is on the edge of making the team, it's special team. So one of those running backs may be there. Eckler has returned punts before. Brian Robinson was even back there. They got guys on the defensive side of the ball. So it's early in training camp, only day number 2, and we got a lot more to report from out here at the Commanders headquarters, again with David Harrison. And David, tell them how they can keep up with you.
Yeah, CommanderGameDay.com, writing articles all the time for Sports Illustrated, and then Locked On Commanders podcast 5 days a week on YouTube or wherever you download podcasts.
There you go. You know how to catch up with David. Donna Hopkins, Pro Football Plus. Out here at Commanders Headquarters 2024, we have a lot more.